Hello, my name is Laonis Quinn. I'm a registered nurse and also a certified asthma educator. And I'm here to tell, actually not my story, but my son's Tony's story. Tony has severe asthma since the age of 2. I should say severe uncontrolled asthma since the age of 2. And he went through a lot. He went through a lot of changes. Before he was diagnosed, I knew Tony had asthma because I have asthma. Had the classic symptoms, the coughing, the wheezing, shortness of breath, the chest tightness. He had all those symptoms before they even told me, yes, he does have asthma. And we referred to a pulmonologist in Detroit. She was great. She took care of Tony to the age of 9 or 10 when she retired. And during that time, he received good care. He was hospitalized a lot during that time, even though he was under the under the auspices of a great pulmonologist. He was still sick a lot. And during this time, it's been a few years ago, the treatments have greatly improved for people with asthma, I should say. And you know, even though Tony was sick, he had some great bright spots. He was not always in the hospital. I know when he turned 7, he played Little League hockey, ice hockey, and he was extremely good at it. And you might be thinking, how could a kid with asthma like that play so well? It was not without challenges. We had the nebulizer at every game, every practice. He was on the travel team. We had the nebulizer and we went, so it was not without challenges, but he loved it so much that we allowed him to play. But after a couple years, he said, Mom, I can't do this anymore. And just like that, he stopped playing. He wanted to play football, but I was so reluctant to let him play that I just had to say no because it was so strenuous with the exercise of playing football and also playing hockey. So as the years passed, his asthma, hospitalizations got less, but the clinic visits were more, exacerbations were more. Tony got depressed. He no longer was interested in daily living exercises, things you get up to bed, Tony, you got to get up today. Although he pushed through, he graduated from high school. He went to college. He had a degree in computer programming. He had a couple jobs, but with the asthma being so bad, he never did work full. He was always sick all the time, and he could not hold a full-time job. So with that, he turned 21. When he turned 21 years old, at the time, that was the age limit of being on your parents' health care insurance. And he was just kicked off. And the doctor, the clinic we were so used to being at for the last 18 years of his life, just out of the blue told us this is Tony's last day. You have to find somewhere else to take him, and on a well visit. And it became such a shock to me. I just stood there and asking the question of, what are you even talking about? I had no idea this was happening. Why wasn't I told this 6 months earlier to transition him to someone that would take care of him instead of on the spot trying to find somewhere to go? They never could answer that question. You need to find a free clinic. I'm crying. Tony was just standing there very quiet. I'm telling them, I can pay. I'll pay you to take care of him. Well, no, his treatments are very expensive, and let alone the medications, the expense of the medications cost. So with that, we left there and in bewilderment of where to go. So I did find a free clinic in our area. Took him to the free clinic. I got really, really excited because when I got there, they did all the assessment. They did spirometry. They did blood work. And I'm thinking, we're going to be okay. this is going to be great, Tony. Not to worry. And as we were being dismissed, the doctor there finally told us, we're not, we don't have a full-time staff here, so you can come and get the free medications every month, but you still go to the emergency room for care. But the days going on and years have passed, not even years. We went to the clinic. Tony's asthma got worse. Exacerbations got worse. We used the emergency room as the clinic. We had nowhere else to go. He had no health care insurance. He was not disabled according to the law. But according to the law, how laws change. He was disabled. He could not work. To make a long story short, because the story has so many layers to it, Tony was to me, an angel. He never complained about being sick. He never complained about missing work. He never complained about anything. Long story short, when I was at work, I work nights. I'm a nurse. I work nights. And on my way home from work one night, my youngest son, Andre, called me on the phone, and he was just screaming. He was screaming like a height. I never heard that scream before, and nor will I ever forget it. And I just stood in my tracks, and I kept saying, "Stop screaming! What is the matter with you?" And I knew something had happened to Tony. So I started running and screaming. I started running even before he couldn't say anything. And finally he said, "Mom, Tony's left us." Just like that. I'm in the middle of the parking deck screaming because I didn't know what else to do. I couldn't find my car. And my life flashed before my eyes. How do I live without this kid? What do I do without someone, living without someone who meant the world to me? How do I live without this kid? And finally, it took years. It took a long time for me to even say Tony's name out loud. It took a long time. And during that time, my husband, my best friend, my ride-or-die, had a stroke in September of the same year. He passed away in November of the same year I lost my son. So that year has left me broken but blessed. Suicidal thoughts. I was suicidal for a very long time. And now where I sit today, there's a blessing in every mishap or every difficulty. There's a blessing in it somewhere for somebody. And so I have founded the Breathe Anti-Day Chapter Asthma Foundation in my son's honor, and I help other mothers who go through what I went through, and I provide resources for these parents and education and awareness, and I give away air purifiers and pillow mattress covers and nebulizers. I give away everything that can help prevent an asthma attack except medications. We do not do that, but I do provide asthma education and asthma awareness. So it has come full circle. I talk about Tony whenever I can. I never say no. I'm always on the battlefield for other parents to bring about awareness of asthma. And I hope what I do is become a blessing for the asthma community.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, incredible story.
Yeah.
Quick question. For those parents out there right now who may be seeing symptoms or whatever, what kind of advice you would give to some parents that are scared?
Yeah.
You know, what can you say to them?
For the parents that are seeing their children with the same symptoms, the coughing, the wheeze, shortness of breath, the short chest tightness, go have your kid checked out. Even if it's by your family physician, if your family physician can refer you to an allergist, which is the best doctor to treat people with asthma, kids with asthma, that is the best thing you can do for your son or daughter. Do not wait. Do not think it's going to go away. It's not going to go away. It only gets worse. It only gets worse without being treated. And I would say, you have to be your kid's advocate. Or you're even your own advocate for yourself. It doesn't go away. And people think you can outgrow asthma. That is a complete myth. You can never outgrow it. If you have asthma for the rest of your life, you will have twitchy lungs. Even if you never have an asthma attack for 20 years down the road, you still have asthma. You still have asthma.
Wow. So going back to that year, somebody right now that's listening, they're going through grief as well.
Yes.
So there's some that may say it's insurmountable grief.
Yes.
What kind of just encouragement can you give them?
What I would say to a mom or to a dad who is experiencing grief after the loss of a child with asthma, which I can speak on, I know what worked for me. For the first few years, it was torment. Even to this day, it's still torment. Grief never goes away. You find different ways to handle it, and I know what I prayed a lot. That was it. I prayed a lot. I have a good support system, and when you have people around you that understand and can kind of hold you up, hold your back, while you go through it, and a shoulder to lean on, that is so important. but never give up, never give in to the grief. You know, and I can't say it gets better, but you learn how to deal with it and handle it better. You know, the loss of a child, you are forever changed. You're forever changed. But you forever change, hopefully for the better. You can be like me, you know, turn your pain and tragedy to a benefit for someone else, which is what I've done.
Wow. So
Yeah.
for those parents or just people that are out there, are there, within your organization that you started, are there resources to help them just as a community? Can they speak to someone or talk with someone?
Yeah, that's a great question. With my organization, the Breathe, the Anthony J. Chapman Asthma Foundation, we give away supplies. We give away things that could help prevent asthma, pillow and mattress covers, which is huge for nighttime asthma, air purifiers, a big deal, nebulizers, pillow and mattress covers. But there's also the Asthma Allergy Network. This is a great organization. They have a program called Trusted Messenger, and it's one-on-one coaching. They tell you how to use your inhaler. They give you resources and give you tools to use to manage your asthma better. So there are resources out there. Reach out. You can reach us, or you can go to our website, thebreatheajcfoundation.org. Information is on there. Our phone number is on there. You can reach me. You can talk to me. I'm available. Our phone number is 248-635-0718. And also, like I said, the website is there if you need help. There are plenty of resources out there to help you.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Last question.
Sure.
When you mentioned it being a blessing,
Yeah.
that pain, turning that pain into a blessing. How did you do that? Were you able to see that?
That is another great question. So what happened, I knew after 10 years of down the road, it took a long time. I knew that I wanted to do something to honor Tony. And I make this story quick because it's another long story. I was at work one night, and one of my coworkers, I don't remember her name, came to my floor, and she worked days, I work nights. I said, what are you still doing here? And we started talking about Tony, as I usually do. And I told her, I said, I need to do something that would honor Tony and help others. And she said, you need to start a foundation. That's how this foundation started. I have no idea what that looks like, how it is, but God gives you the tools. When this is my calling. This is my calling, and this is how I got to start this foundation through an angel. I think she was an angel for me to, like kickstart what I was trying to do in the first place.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yes.
I'm sure it has been a blessing. It's been a blessing to me, and I'm sure it's been a blessing to so many others
Thank you.
that are out there. So, and thank you everybody for watching here live at the National Medical Association Conference 2023. Thank you, guys.